Alright guys, Liverpool and Chelsea have just drawn 1-1 in, quite an exciting game to be fair. It was good. I'd imagine it would be quite good to watch from a neutral point of view. As a Liverpool fan, it was quite frustrating in the second half, I'll be honest. I think if you're a Chelsea fan, considering how the game went from just before half time onwards, you've got to be happy with the point. I think it's a point away at Anfield. Liverpool just don't lose at Anfield with fans. Haven't lost a game at Anfield with fans there since April 2017, which is mental. And yeah, but Chelsea defended brilliantly in the second half. Just sat back and soaked up anything Liverpool tried to produce, and there were very little clear-cut chances for any of the Liverpool forwards. And to be fair, Chelsea in the first half they had probably had most of the possession, but Liverpool looked the better side earlier on. I thought Harvey Elliott came close earlier on. Jordan Henderson should have done quite a lot better with a weak foot volley from I don't know how close it was. It was about the penalty spot, I think. But yeah, Chelsea obviously got the breakthrough through Kai Havertz's header. A lot of people were claiming that he hasn't tried anything. I personally think he's looked and seen there's no men on the post and just gone for it. You've got to have a man on the post because he knows Alisson's gonna. Alisson likes to come and claim the ball. He knows he's not going to stay on his line, or he's very unlikely to. So he's just got to dink it with his head in the back to the back post, and he did really well. It was a brilliantly executed header. Liverpool responded quite well to it, to be fair. Roberto Firmino got subbed off just before half time, which I found a bit strange. To me, that would suggest he's got an injury or a knock, because Firmino, out of the three up front for Liverpool, was definitely the best today. In the first half. Definitely, he was the one who was coming deep for the ball and spraying passes out wide. I think today as well, especially in the first half, Chelsea did really well to stop Liverpool from attacking out wide, especially on the left for Liverpool. Because obviously they're playing Cesar Azpilicueta and Reece James. That's blocking Robertson from making those overlapping runs past Sadio Mane, which stops Liverpool from managing to get into positions where they can cross the ball in, and there'll be Jota or Firmino to try and get a header on it. And even then, if you do get the crossing, you've still got Andreas Christensen and Antonio Rudiger to deal with. And it got to the point where Trent Alexander-Arnold was coming into midfield to try and produce things because he was having no luck out wide. So with Firmino being subbed off, I'm a little bit worried about that because I think he's got a knock or something, because I don't think Klopp would sub him off with 5 minutes to go at half time. He might sub him off at half time, but he'd wait until half time, I'd have thought. Right now, we got to talk about the goal. Joel Matip did ridiculously well to keep the ball in play, to flick it back into the danger area, and then he headed it against the crossbar. It went across goal. Diogo Jota got a sort of scrappy shot off. It was a complete goal line scramble, and Reece James on the line blocked it. Now Reece James it's a tough one because it is a penalty, because it has hit his hand quite clearly. It's come off his hand, like down sort of by his side, but it's out a little bit, and it's brushed off his knee and hit his hand. So if his hand hadn't been there, it's brushed off his knee and then gone in still. It wasn't enough of a block to keep it out. So it's got to be a penalty, and I think all Chelsea fans will accept that. And with the red card, now according to the rules, it's a red card, but it does feel really harsh on Reece James because I'm not 100% sure he's. It's not like do you remember Luis Suarez v Ghana at the South Africa World Cup in 2010? It's not like he's put his hands out to block it. His arm is in a fairly natural position, if we're being honest. But it's just the fact that it's a goal scoring opportunity and he's denied it. It's just really unfortunate for Reece James, I think. But it's football can be a harsh sport. Mo Salah tucks away the penalty as you'd expect him to do. But yeah, second half, Chelsea, amazing defensively. But attacking wise, they didn't offer much, but they didn't really need to because they were defending so well. They got a few counter attacks where they came close. I remember someone found Marcus Alonso at the back post who headed it down for Lukaku, but Matip put a really good block in. And I thought. Obviously, before the game, there's this whole thing of Virgil van Dijk versus Lukaku. It was mostly Matip up against Lukaku the majority of the time, and Matip, bar one incident where Lukaku did manage to turn Matip, where Matip did make a bit of a mistake. He sort of ran to get really close to Lukaku, but Lukaku turned the opposite way to Matip was coming in, so he didn't have a chance there. But other than that, Matip dealt with Lukaku brilliantly the entire game, and so did Virgil van Dijk as well. So I think it was a very even game. I don't think in the balance of the game that if Chelsea had 11 men, it would have given them that much of an advantage. Because it would, let me rephrase that. It wouldn't have, it might not have given them the better result. It might have, I still think it would have probably been a draw. Because it would have been a lot more open. There'd have been a lot more attacks from Chelsea and a lot more threatening attacks from Liverpool. A lot of Liverpool shots today were just hopeful 25-yard efforts on goal. But yeah, I think these two teams, Liverpool and Chelsea, can definitely win the league this season, along with Manchester City as well. Man United, what they showed last week weren't great, but what they showed the week before was brilliant. Ronaldo is going to be a big a big addition to their team. But in terms of is it going to be great for United in the long run, I'm still unsure because obviously Mason Greenwood, I think most of us can see it now that he's probably got a higher ceiling than Rashford. And he needs to be playing centre forward, and that would be my worry if I was a United fan about the Ronaldo transfer, because he's going to play for 2 seasons, and yeah, it's not great for Greenwood. That'd be the only problem. But anyway, yeah, I think both teams. I think Chelsea would have taken a point at the start of the day. Liverpool, it feels a little bit disappointing considering the circumstances, but a point definitely better for Chelsea today. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.